Thank you very much, Mike. You see, I'm armed with all our ambassadorial corps. Hi, Bob Hormats there. Fantastic to see you. I saw Bob Rubin. I saw Bob Rubin on the way in here, who taught me. Bob taught me everything about foreign relations. Bob Rubin taught me how to make decisions under uncertainty. Unfortunately, those two are coming together at the same time. I would do my best, and I'm looking forward to the discussion, your questions and counsel. You know, what I propose to do in 10 minutes is just to say a few words about how a middle power like Canada can deal with the situation where the rules-based order is eroding, great power rivalries intensifying, and authoritarian models are hardening. I mean, that's a simplified version of what's going on. And I'll start by admitting up front that we prospered under the old system. We would like the old system back. Could we have the old system back? Is that going to happen? We prospered under the old system, and we were able to pursue a values-based foreign policy based on or anchored on a rules-based multilateral trading system, an open global financial system. We had collective security anchored in NATO. Our geography, which hasn't changed, but the facts around the geography have changed. We had enviable geography. It gave us privileged access to the world's largest and most dynamic economy, and it distanced us from the major state and non-state threats. We also subscribed to an expectation that perhaps in the past at the Council for Foreign Relations, it was also the case for some, an expectation that non-market authoritarian countries would converge over time through engagement to free markets, open societies, and even democratic values. And this meant, for a country with a values-based foreign policy, that our engagement with those countries could be justified by the expectation of progress. In fact, the very engagement helped with that progress. And alignment of values was merely delayed, not compromised. So, a few things have changed. Certainly that convergence of values has proved elusive. The economic strategy of the United States is clearly changed from the support for the multilateral system to a more transactional and managed bilateral trade and investment approach. Global power is moving. You can debate how much or how far this will go from American hegemony to great power rivalry. And technological change is shrinking that geographic advantage that we had and expanding the fields of conflict from the virtual to the extraterrestrial. All of this is reducing, I can't have to observe this during UN week, reducing the effectiveness of our multilateral institutions from the WTO to the UN, on which middle powers like Canada have greatly relied. So what do we do about it? And I'm going to give you a punchline, which is we think we can thrive, and I choose that word advisedly, thrive in this new non-system, or the system that's evolving, for three reasons. And the first is we have what the world wants. Take on the energy side, we are an energy superpower. That is going to become increasingly evident. 85% of our energy is clean. We're one of the world's largest LNG exporters, one of the largest reserves of oil and gas. We measure additions to our grid in 10 gigawatt chunks, to put it in perspective, and you will see that with time. We are top 5 in 10 of the world's most important critical minerals. 40% of the world's listed mining companies are in Canada, to give a perspective there. We are a leading developer of AI, and our research universities are some of the biggest producers in volume of AI, computing, and quantum talent in the world. Unfortunately, most of them go to the United States. I understand you're changing your visa policy here, so you're going to hang on to it. We have capital. Our pension funds are some of, if not the most sophisticated infrastructure investors in the world, with all due respect to Larry Fink, and our government. We were talking about him earlier. I have lots of respect for Larry Fink, I should say that. And we have a government that still has fiscal capacity to act decisively at a moment when governments need to act decisively. Now, the second reason why I'd say we have good prospects, not assured prospects, but good prospects, is we have values to which much of the world, not all of the world, much of the world still aspires. We're a pluralistic society that works. Our cities are amongst the most diverse in the world. Public square is loud, diverse, and free. We, by the nature of our federation, we have to practice collaboration and partnership, and it's a country that is still committed to sustainability. The third reason why I'm going to argue we can thrive in this time is we recognize what's going on. This is not a transition, this is a rupture. This is a sharp change in a short period of time, driven by a variety of factors. We have a determination to rise, and I'm going to give you one last set of threes, and then we'll have our conversation. Our response to this is to build strength at home, to build resilience by diversifying abroad, and pursue a variable geography to defend our values and pursue our interests. I can understand if you were distracted by events down here and you haven't followed exactly everything we've been doing in the last 4 months. But while you were otherwise occupied, we've cut tax incomes and capital gains. We have removed all barriers to interprovincial trade. We have passed landmark legislation to fast track literally hundreds of billions of dollars of projects in energy, in AI, in critical minerals, in new trade corridors. We are doubling our defense spending by 20. Our core capabilities with respect to defense, AI, quantum, cyber, critical minerals, provide unique opportunities for dual use and economic benefit, and we intend to fully exploit those. We are diversifying our trading relationships and our security partnerships. We signed the most comprehensive agreement with the European Union from a non-European Union member. The Economic and Security Partnership with the EU, we signed that at the end of June. We're working on fleshing that out now. We will be, or we are on track, I should choose my words more diplomatically, we are on track to be a full member of SAFE, the European Defence Arrangement, which allows us to diversify and accelerate our defense procurement. This week? What day is Monday? Last week, yes. Seemed to miss the weekend in the middle, but we agreed a comprehensive approach within the context of USMCA, but a comprehensive approach with Mexico to deepen our bilateral trading relationships, and we are pursuing more aggressive strategies throughout Asia. My last of my threes is around that variable geography. I'll just give a couple of examples of where we're active. The Coalition of the Willing for Ukraine, we are the largest contributor on a per capita basis to Ukraine. Okay. And we, well, I won't go into more detail. We can talk about Ukraine if you wish. When you think about our Arctic sovereignty, that we are cooperating very closely with the Nordic Baltic 8 for physical protection up there, economic development, and also defending NATO's western flank. We are active with like-minded parties in efforts to promote two-state solution and Middle East peace. Not the easiest thing to do, I know. And I'll make one other point on critical minerals. We, out of the G7, are forming buyers clubs for critical minerals so that the world can diversify away from Chinese dominance from them. So it's not just the supply, but it's having that secure access to capital or an offtake, basically, so these can be developed. And I'll just say a word before I finish that having chaired the G7 this year, I came into government 6 weeks before it was there, so we had to, we didn't have Mike Froman. We had a very good Sherpa, but we didn't have Mike Froman, so we had a lot of work to do. It was a very interesting, and this is a variable geometry support point. When we had 2 days, the first day, core G7, focused on a variety of issues, very productive. President Trump was there for that day, and these were good meetings. These were good discussions, a good meeting. There was progress made. Not everything landed, but it's never the case that everything lands. It was fairly narrowly focused, though, on economics, with Iran thrown in. There's always a crisis, Iran thrown in as well. The next day, with the leaders of most of the BRICS countries, some of the largest emerging economies, Australia as well, not an emerging economy, but others like those, the focus was on what this room would recognize as old multilateralism, global commons, where we're cooperating on energy, what we can do to actually develop on critical minerals, financing for development, what's going to happen at COP. Lula was there as well. That doesn't mean that's the way the world's working. I'm not naive about that, but there is a substantial proportion of the world that focuses on these issues. A country like Canada is one of them, and it's one that it's something we will continue to do because it comes back into our strengths. Look, I'll sum up. I would ask you to, when you think about Canada, actually that's my request, think about Canada. As a strong, sovereign, independent nation, think about Canada as that. But there is a big opportunity in this shifting in Canada. We understand what's going on. We understand the scale of the response that's required. We have the resources the world needs. We have the talent to turn that potential into growth. We're a reliable partner. We're connected more than anyone else through trading relationships with any other part of the world. And we're no longer relying on just the strength of our values, but the value of our strength with your help. So thank you very much, and I look forward to the discussion.